Hello everyone, welcome to Snap Take. Today we have an absolutely insane patch in Marvel Snap. My son is homesick, so I'm home, and that means you get a second video today instead of tomorrow. We are going to talk about some absolutely incredible new cards. We've got updates to almost every March card and every new April card. You can see that we've got the Avengers of 1 million BC coming out in the March season. And then April, we've got a What If season. That's right, What If is coming to Marvel Snap. So let's get started. But before we do, I'm going to ask you to hit that sub button because here on this channel, we bring you at least 7 days a week of Marvel Snap videos. Well, we bring you 7 days a week of Marvel Snap videos, but we also happen to often do 2 video days, such as today, where we bring you a second video. Thursday will also be a 2 video day. We have more Marvel Snap coverage and the best decks in Marvel Snap for you before anyone else. All you have to do to hit that sub button is the bottom right corner. There's a little YouTube looking button. You press that and you're subbed. Hit it. And you have a chance, even on this video, to win a free Sam Wilson Captain America. We give away more season passes than anybody. We're giving away one a week for the rest of the season, and this is a short one, so there's only 2 left. So make sure you hit that sub and like, and then when you leave a comment later this video, I'll tell you what to comment. You will be entered to win Sam Wilson Captain America. All right, the patch. Let's do patch stuff before we do the new cards. So the patch, players have a mastery tab. Any character that you have basically variants for, you can get mastery. Mastery levels take into account the number of times you have split a character and how many variants you own. If you have a bunch of variants and splits, you can get a bunch of rewards from character mastery. The rewards are all basically different new special splits, different new special flares. That's mostly what they are. If you can get to level 30 with any card, you get a special reaction set. Cool. Um, every card that you can get mastery for, i.e. you've either split it or have variants for, you're going to have a little gold icon. You do have to go through those one at a time. I did go through all of mine. The highest mastery I have is Storm at level 28. It is not easy to max them at level 30, but that gives you a character-specific reaction set. Also, the big important thing is Sanctum Showdown has been pushed a week. We covered Sanctum Showdown the day it was announced when the new season video was announced. But Sanctum Showdown is the mode that comes out this season that has where you can get 3 brand new cards and then you can get 4 unowned series 4 and 5 cards from it. So that is now going to start February 25th instead of February 18th, which is kind of awesome for me personally because I'll be away the week of February 18th. So that ends up working out better for me. This is just going to go over the mode once more, which we already did. We have a whole video on that I'll link somewhere in this video if you're interested. You can also now favorite an album, sort of whatever, but you can have favorite albums. So if you're trying to fill something, you can at least have your own section where you can look at the favorites. Okay, not the biggest patch in terms of that, but character mastery is going to be big for a lot of people. We're going to be streaming this evening, both on YouTube and Twitch, twitch.tv/PulseGlazer, and the YouTube you're watching this on, if you're interested in watching me mess around with character mastery a little bit. Next up, we have mastery XP sources. Splits are 15 mastery, which is real low. Rare variants are only 25 mastery. Yikes. Super rare variants are 75. Spotlight is where we start to get to really good stuff. 125 for Spotlight Season Pass and Bundle and Event variants, and then you get a whopping 250 for Ultimate variants. I only own 1 Ultimate variant. This is basically seemingly a way to sell us extra variants for people who want to get the mastery up for these cards. That's fine. I might finish Storm because she's so close just to see what it's like. I'd like to finish Living Tribunal because it's our logo on like everything, but we'll see. This seems like it's going to be really expensive, but it is a cool extra bonus. It's an extra thing to do for the variant obsessed among us. I'm sure Super Tech God, our friend, shout out to Super Tech God, you can find on YouTube and Twitch, has almost every variant in the game. And if you're interested like in that, I'm sure he's going to have a really great time with this. All right, our season pass card for March is Agamotto. He was updated to a 5/10. Game start, shuffle 4 Ancient Arcana into your deck. 5/10 is just great stats. There are very few 5/10s in Marvel Snap. Arrow is the only other one that's like just pure upside. Agamotto is the second one with pure upside, which means that this card's just going to see play, right? A 5/10 is just really good. What do these Ancient Arcana do? Well, they're each kind of insane. So the first is a 2/0. On reveal, afflict an enemy card here with -5 power and move it right. Banish this. My guess is banish means at the end of next turn or start of whatever turn, this just goes into its own banish zone so that you don't get destroy triggers for it, so that it's not giving you discard triggers to bring back or anything. But a 2/5 is insane. That doesn't take up board space. That just seems incredibly strong. Obviously, Luke Cage counters it, but at 2 power, you're perfectly willing to take this risk. Yes, the card will disappear, but you're paying 2, and the 5 that it hits to an enemy card stays on the board, and it's potentially clogging them by moving the card to the right. I love this card. Like, these are all insanely strong, but this one just seems so versatile. The next one is temporal manipulation. On reveal, give Agamotto 3 power. Put him in your hand if he's not in play. So basically, it draws you Agamotto and gives him plus 3 power, which makes you a 5/13. Sounds good. You're probably going to play that card, right? 5/13 is a lot of stats, and that means you're paying 6 for 13, which is a little bit above rate. Not amazing, but it does draw you a card, thus thinning your deck, and you're putting 4 extra cards in your deck, so you're less likely to see Agamotto. This really does help that way. Then we have the Bolt of Balthakar. Balthak? Balthak. The Bolts of Balthak. There we go. This is on reveal. Next turn, you get +4 energy. Banish this. They're all banish this. So it's a 3/0 for 3. You go to turn 4 and you have 8 energy. Wild. That's wild. That's an end turn Wiccan amount of energy. Again, these spells are incredible, and this is a season pass card, so everyone can get it. We finish up with Images of Icon, which is a 4/0. Transform your other cards here into copies of the highest power one. Banish this. You probably want to play this at the end of the game with your Agamotto, after your Agamotto, and just turn everything in that lane into 10 to 13 power things. But you can do that on anything. We're going to see our first ever 310. You can turn everything into that 310 here. Cards with on reveals, if you transform them into them, the on reveals trigger again. So if like you're turning things into Black Panthers, you've got this insane lane. Oh, also, all these Ancient Arcana, and I probably should have said this at the start, are made cheaper by Ravonna Renslayer. So that's going to be just this absolutely, absolutely insane combo where you get all this wonderful benefit. The other thing I thought of, and I should have put Ravonna in here, pretend Elsa Bloodstone is Ravonna. The other thing you're going to get is a way to trigger your Angela and Hope Summers without taking up your whole board space. You can play extra cards. You can play these on Angela and Hope and get extra energy and extra power along the way. If they don't disappear till the end of the next turn, i.e. if you can play the 4/0 on 6, you can give that some power with like Galacta or Gwenpool, and then when you turn everything in, I think it's going to be great. This is where I'm going to start, although I am going to run Ravonna in this deck because I ain't nobody's fool, but over Elsa, because Elsa's not actually great. I wanted to cut Elsa and didn't think of a really great card, but this seems amazing, and I'm very, very excited for Agamotto. He says he's just going to be one of the best cards. I don't know how else to put that. It's very hard for me to imagine Agamotto not being an absolutely incredible card in Marvel Snap that everyone wants to own, that opens up new archetypes, that opens up new powerful things to do. This feels kind of like original Thanos to me. Eson has been totally reworked, and he's nowhere near as cool now. He's now a 6/9. After each turn, put a card from your hand that didn't start in your deck here. Okay, so he's just basically grabbing a card from your deck and putting it into play. As a 6, that's not great. His home is almost certainly going to be Arishem, right? Like, it's just Arishem. You have cards. You can play him on turn 5, and then you're going to get 2 free cards from Eson. That's fine. It's fine. That's amazing. No, it's Shang proof by being 6/9, so you can play it early if you want. You can try and get it out early. I didn't want to give you a deck, however, with Arishem, so instead, because like that's easy, you understand what that looks like, right? This card should be cool with Nick Fury, so I decided to try and go with this Victoria Hand deck from that Chaos created, and ended up adding Eson to it. Basically, Wiccan means I can still play Eson on 5. I can also play Psylocke on 4 to get Eson on 5 as need be. If I play Nick Fury, I'm pulling 6s. I'm perfectly fine to pull Agent Coulson cards, to pull Valentina cards, so on. And I think that this is just a powerful top end for this, replacing sort of Arishem in this Arishem, replacing Goliath in this sort of shell. I think Eson is going to be a very good card. Plus, anything you pull is going to have +2 power from that Victoria hand. I think this is going to be a good deck. I don't know if this is going to be meta, but I think this is going to be a good deck, and it's cool that Nick Fury might actually matter for once. Eson now still comes with the exact same cards. This is still a week I think you should get if you got Victoria hand, or if you need Wiccan. Wiccan is still a card that you really, really would like to own. I think Eson and Wiccan still go very, very well together. He can pull Beta Ray Bill's hammer at the end of the game, but who cares? Just play the damn hammer. So like that's not super useful, right? It's a 0. But Eson is very good, at least with Wiccan, and those still go together. And I think that this deck is going to be fun and powerful if this is a severe step down from his previous Datamined version. That's going to be the theme of March. Almost every card is reworked, except including Agamotto, but Agamotto is so strong, and most of the others are reworked down. Except I think Starbrand is actually probably better. He goes from a 6/8 that gets super huge to a 3/10 that gives +3 power at each other location. Opponents +3 power at each other location, which means he's basically a 3/4. That's fine, right? Like you'll play that 3/4 for that 10 power if you have 10 power synergy. And again, the obvious home here is that Scar deck. The Scar deck is just like, sure, I'll take a 3/10. That's going to make my Scar cheaper. Let's do it. Let's go to town. You can have that extra 3 power. But there is another home, and I think this is that home. The Dinosauron build that Derek and Agamotto have played last season near the top of the Infinite leaderboard, I think really like Starbrand. You've got Zero and Enchantress, excuse me, and Sauron to take care of that downside. And like if you can play Sauron and then your turn 4 is like a Starbrand and Ebony Maw, you just dropped a 17 power turn 4. Like that's absurd. This deck should be really, really good. This is where I'm excited to try Starbrand. It might replace Gladiator. The card I replaced was Red Guardian in the list. This might end up replacing Gladiator, but whatever the case may be, I think that this archetype is officially just straight up back and is going to be really, really strong with this card. It's already really strong, right? But like it's going to be like meta, and everyone's going to be playing with this card, along with obviously yet more Scar decks. Starbrand comes with Phastos and Scar still. Again, this is not changed. This card still goes really well with Scar. It's not nearly as good with Phastos anymore. You don't really care. I mean, the 210 would be nice if you drew it after Phastos, but you don't really care about it with Phastos at all anymore, whereas you might have previously. You are pretty happy to have this with Scar. This is going to go in a lot of Scar decks. This makes Scar a lot more easily played because this one doesn't have restrictions except that it gives your opponents power. You are going to be this also makes Prior more complicated with the deck, which makes it more interesting. I really like this redesign. I don't know what to say. I think that this is a very powerful card, but it also adds some interesting twists to the Scar deck. Firehair is a redesign I like significantly less. Now it is when one of your cards is destroyed. This uses that card's on reveal. Okay. Like that means we have to run a lot of on reveals. I actually don't think the Firehair deck here changes. What we're going to want to do is destroy a Korg, a Rock Slide, or a Cassandra Nova. If we can destroy a Korg, then we Firehair and we're using Misery for this, right? We can destroy a Korg, then Firehair is going to throw an extra rock slide again. Firehair is going to throw an extra 2 rocks, but Cassandra Nova is the big one because if you get a couple rocks, Cassandra Nova, Firehair is then going to become a like 8 or 9 power card from Cassandra Nova that you can then bring that Cassandra Nova back with Phoenix Force, and you can really, really drain out their deck while giving yourself a big Darkhawk. I don't think the deck this goes in changes, but I think it's a lot less interesting, a lot less fun than it was before. Firehair still comes with Cassandra Nova as they tell us what it does, and Nico Minoru, who's got a Destroy Draw 2 that works amazingly with Firehair. Because you have to have Firehair down first, right? But then you play Nico, you destroy whatever card, and then Firehair does the same damn thing to that card, right? Like it's going to say, okay, more rocks, okay, more Cassandra Nova, whatever the case may be, which I think is like good. I don't know. Is this my favorite thing in the world? No. I think that again, this card is significantly worse, but it's probably decent. I don't think they like killed it, right? It's probably played better on internal testing. At least that's my hope here. Then we've got Khonshu, and Khonshu is wild. It is now 3 different cards. When discarded, returns in its next phase. That's always the text, right? It starts as a 4/5, and then I believe it's going to become, sorry, a 6/5. Then it's going to become a 6/7, then a 6/12. So it'll be Khonshu, then Khonshu Waxing, then Khonshu Full. Um, if you decide to play Khonshu at any point, on reveal resurrects a card you discarded to another location with its power set to 5. Then it's going to be power set to 7. Then it's going to be power set to 12. Obviously, you would like to discard this twice. So you don't want it to like, you want it to get to 12, right? So if you can make a 6/12 and then you get to get back a discarded card at 6/12, you're really set. So I decided to try this deck. This isn't quite right, but fundamentally what this is going to be is it's going to be its own new Hela, right? It's going to create its own new like mini Hela archetype where you try to get rid of a powerful card. I'm thinking Gore and Iron Man are the targets. Yeah, this isn't the right build. like the more I think about it, I'm really struggling with this card. But we want Gore and Iron Man, so we can discard Khonshu, Gore, and Iron Man. So we are going to want Corvus Glaive here, and we are going to want Moon Knight, and I think we're going to want Lady Sif, and I'm debating whether we want Swordmaster too at that point. But like if we can discard, if we can bring back if we can play a 6/12 Khonshu and then get a Gore that starts as a 6/12, we're just in really, really great shape. The issue of this being a 6, though, is it's a little awkward with Hela, so I'd like to play this with Hela, but I can't figure it out. This is going to be a deck building puzzle, but I have very little doubt that this is going to be very, very strong. This comes with Corvus Glaive and Scorn. They are straight up telling us play this with Corvus. I don't think this is going to go amazing well with Scorn, but this is like a Corvus loving card because you get to discard multiple cards and then you can play Khonshu early and get that awesome ability off as soon as possible, which is really, really your goal here, right? You get if Khonshu creates a 12 power Iron Man, that's a 24 power Iron Man in another location, and you just played a 6/12. That kind of thing is amazing. It wins games. That's what we're looking to do here with Corvus and Khonshu. I'm a little bit in love. Do I want Scorn? Yes. But if I'm playing classic discard, if you have Bullseye, you don't need it as much. And Glaive has Homes, and now suddenly with Khonshu, looks like it might be a desirable card again. The first Ghost Rider is coming likely this month because it's the last theme card. It'll be in whatever extra mode they give us, whether that be Diner, whether that be Voltage, whether that be something new. It is really good. It's actually probably going to end up Series 4. We don't know. I just leave the Series 5 6000 because unless proven otherwise. But this is probably going to be Series 4. Unreveal, discard the lowest power card from your hand. Remove that card's power from this. And that's nice and simple. We want the Hela deck, and particularly the Danish Hela deck, because we want to discard Gore and Iron Man here. That gives us a 2/6 in play and a targeted discard for exactly the card we want. Our downside here is discarding Jubilee, and we're totally fine to discard Jubilee and bring that back with Ghost Rider, which can get us Hela. But like we're gonna use this to discard Iron Man or Gore. The Danish Hela deck absolutely loves this card. This is super crazy. I'm gonna message Danish later to be like, yo. But this is insane in this deck. I think this is arguably the second best card of the month after Khonshu, and they're giving it to us very likely for free. So that's super exciting. Hey, don't forget, I'll be live tonight at twitch.tv/PulseGlazer. Make sure you check it out. We're going to be doing Thunderbolt Ross decks and screwing around with character mastery, so don't forget to be there for that. And if you'd like to enter to win the season pass, please answer what your favorite card of each month is. We just covered all of March. What are you most excited for in March? You're going to answer that for March and April, which we're just about to get to right now. Our season pass card for April is Captain Carter as we kick off the What If season with Captain Carter. She is an ongoing. Your other cards in the back row here gain this card's power. So you need Captain Carter to be your first card at that location, which is really rough, right? Or first or second card at that location. And then you need to play 2 cards behind it. But it is going to gain this card's power. So that could be a reasonable amount, right? Giving an extra 2 power. But if you've got extra buffs on this, say you play this in after a Steve Rogers. Right now, the cards in the back are getting +4 power, and that's got some extra value. I think that's decent. I think that there's something here that's worth messing with. The placement is what I'm worried about as getting a 4 on the second spot of location. I'd almost rather, well, I guess I wouldn't rather she's a 4/1, right? But like at 4, I think she's a little rough for a season pass card. I hope I'm wrong, but hey, Captain Carter's a really cool character. Uh, I decided to try Carter going. This is just a very successful ongoing list I threw Captain Carter into on the theory that I can just play Captain Carter behind that Captain America or Mr. Fantastic, and then I can drop some cards behind it. Won't work with Moonstone, but if Moonstone and Captain America end up in the lane, right? I play Captain America there, I play Moonstone on that, and then I just have a crazy amount of power. That's a lane winning combination. I think that this is probably worth it. In this list, that I think this is clearly an ongoing synergies card, even if it doesn't say so directly. Speaking of ongoing synergies, we have Goliath, who's explicit in his ongoing synerginess. He is coming on 4/1, so is Captain Carter. He is ongoing +1 power for each other ongoing card you have in play, which means that there are what should we call it? 11 other spots on the board, right? 4, 8, 12, yeah, and he's 1 spot, 11 other spots on the board. He's not likely to be, he could be a 2/11, 2/12, which is a lot of power. I don't expect him to ever really get that big, but it doesn't matter because, hey, that deck we just looked at, I cut another card and said, what if we just ran Goliath in that? These are all ongoing cards, right? Now we've got a million ongoing cards for Goliath. If we go Ant-Man on 1, we probably should cut Ravonna at some point too. Ant-Man on 1 and sorry, I guess Ravonna is going to make a lot cheaper, so maybe not. Ravonna on 2, right? It's an ongoing, so it doesn't matter. Ravonna or Cap on 2, Cap on 3, Captain Carter on 4. Like our turn 6 play, if we got Ravonna of Goliath and Iron Man, seems crazy strong. Goliath also seems really, really good with Moonstone. I think that this is a really cool combination. That's where I'm going to go with Carter. With Goliath, I think that these two cards go in the same deck, which is really cool. I like it when they do that in the same week, like Iron Patriot and Victoria Hand. That was very successful for them last time they did it. Obviously, they agree. Goliath comes with Cersei and Gwenpool. Cersei was going to be the week before, was removed for the synergy of Corvus Glaive. That's cool. And we finally get another Gwenpool variant. This is our like second ever after the season pass one. I really like this one. I like all the paraphernalia on her bike. I think this is cute. I don't love the Spotlight Goliath, but whatever. And Cersei is a card that's okay to own. It's got a couple decent decks. Gwenpool is a really good card. I think you're probably going to want Goliath, especially if you bought Sam Wilson, and you're getting Agent Carter. So you're going to want Goliath. And then if you can get Gwenpool on the way, hell yeah, that's an incredible week. Kahhori is my card of the month, period, bar none. 4/6, great stats. On reveal, for each card in your hand, give a friendly card +1 power. So if you have 7 cards in hand, she's playing as a 4/13. You love to see it. It doesn't say other friendly card. It doesn't say like it's obviously going to put them on cards in play, right? So it's going to put a bunch of power on cards in play, but it doesn't say each one once or anything. So I can give one card a bunch of power. This seems really good to me. Like this feels like our next busted 4 in Marvel Snap. You love to see it. I'm hype about this card. This card is going to be phenomenal, is in my opinion. It's a board wide buff if you can play it at the end of the game with a reasonably full hand. I'm thinking a Devil Dino deck, but I'm also thinking that just a Victoria hand deck, there's very little reason to be silly about this. I grabbed this Victoria hand list, I threw Agent Coulson back into it, and I just realized if I play this at the end of the game with Victoria hand, I'm giving my whole board like +4, +6, right? Depending on if I did a Frigga Victoria hand already, which seems like just an incredible amount of power. And again, I've got plenty of ways to keep cards in hand here. There's plenty of cards I don't play each game in this type of list. I'm really hyped for this. I think Kahhori is going to be absolutely incredible. This is just such a cool design. Like huge props for this. Again, if you want to check the Moonstone Devil Dino versions, that's going to work great too. Kahhori comes with Cull Obsidian. Cull Obsidian is a card that a lot of people really, really want because all the Scar stuff. You're going to have to wait, but they are giving it to you. Kahhori also comes with Hydra frickin' Bob. Finally coming to Spotlight. Still probably the best one drop generically in the game, just in the general vicinity thereof, if not. So this altogether is just an absolutely like must open week. Kahhori is my card of the month. Cull is a card lots of people want. Plus, this looks like a friggin' Ninja Turtle villain. And then this hilarious Hydra Bob shooting in the air. Let's go. This is the best Spotlight week we have coming forward at all, period, bar none. 4/15, we have what? Infinity Ultron. Okay, good. Infinity Ultron is a 5/6. Add 2 Ultron Infinity Stones to your hand. He doesn't have a game start, so you're only ever seeing 2 of the 6. But he's adding 2 to hand. We don't know what they cost. I'm assuming they're 1/1s or 1/2s. Ultron Spaces move the lowest power enemy card here. Hell yeah, Clog. Ultron Reality, add a token here, modify its strength to X. We don't know what that does. Let's skip that one. Ultron Time, on reveal, put a card from your hand here. Yes, please. Ultron Mind, your on reveal abilities happen twice. Oh, okay. So Wong. Ultron Power, on reveal, double Infinity Ultron's power. Sure, make him a 5/12. And then on reveal for each full location, give a card here +2 power. That's probably not as good, but it seems like it's pretty good. So I decided to throw this into a nice simple Zoo deck. This feels like it might be a Zoo or Thanos card to me. It wants to be played with Mockingbird, where the things you play from Ultron, right, can make your Mockingbird cheaper even at the end of the game. Remember that you are making these plays usually around the end of the game. This card also feels like a really good Arishem card again with all these abilities, but I think a Zoo is a really good home here because if these cards are cheap, and it's hard to do this without knowing the cost of them, then I think that we have a lot of options here, right? We played a Shauna, and now we've got a cheap Mockingbird to play with a bunch of these stones. Let's go to town. If we get the double stone, we can drop that with Rocket. Just lots of really cool stuff here. I'm excited to give this one a whirl. Then we have the spotlights that come with Infinity Ultron. It comes with Pixie, who's a decent card that is apparently doomed to be forever underrated. And we have Cannonball. Oh, It just occurred to me. By the way, we know that all these spotlights in March and April are after the series drop, so we know a whole bunch of cards that aren't series dropping, which means we can start to infer which are. I'll do that and a big spotlight guide in a video very, very soon if you're interested. Cannonball's a card you probably want. You should probably grab Cannonball if you don't have it, which means you can grab Infinity Ultron on the way. If you get Pixie, you're not too sad. Pixie's fine. I expect Pixie to be series dropped to 4, I think. All right, we've got our second Doctor Strange. This is the evil Doctor Strange from What If, the Strange Supreme. Give this +2 power whenever it merges. After each turn, merge one of your cards that didn't start in your deck into this. So this doesn't want to be Victoria Hand, right? I think this is like the ultimate Arishem card, where it's just you get this early with Arishem and all the extra bullshit you play gets eaten by Strange. But I just, again, I'm trying not to build Arishem lists, so I decided to put it in this hand buff list because this hand buff list has Mr. Sinister, it has the Penny Spider, it has Broodlings, it has Scarlet Spider's card, and I think if you can grab any of those and get an extra +2 power on top of it, that's pretty damn good for Strange. Is this better than Lasher is my big question. And honestly, outside of Arishem, I think the answer is probably no. So this is actually a weak card that they're giving to Doctor Strange, but it is at least cool and different. So again, there's a lot of really, really wild designs. April looking better than March all of a sudden, even in terms of what cards come out, because we have US freaking Agent here and Speed. That's 2 cards you want to own. Speed's a card a lot of people are missing. We're happy to see it come back. US Agent is a card more people have now, but is still very, very strong and seemingly going to get stronger. So just, yeah, get these cards. I don't know. Doctor Strange sucks, but if you need Speed and US Agent, I think it's worth getting. Then we have the Hydra Stomper, and I love the name Hydra. Hydra Stomper is a 3/1 ongoing +1 power for each card you move this game. I did some math with this, and this is very unlikely to get big enough to actually matter. I think this is going to need a little statistical rework, but I decided to throw it into the Zombies Go Nom Nom very popular list. I had to cut Hydra Bob, and I just don't think it's better than Hydra Bob in the list. I don't think this one actually has a home, but we need Hydra Stomper to be good. There's too many good Hydra cards. The cards that beat up the Nazis need to be good too. Damn it. So Hydra Stomper is a interesting card. I'm not sure if it's great. It definitely wants to be played with Heimdall, right? Because if you can move like 5 or 6 cards with Heimdall, all of a sudden it's crazy powerful. If you don't play Heimdall, it's probably topping out at like 7 or 8 power. But if this can fit in a Heimdall list, this and Craven are lane winners. All right. So this is the cards that come with Hydra Stomper, as they are just going to town with giving us synergy in these spotlights. Hydra Stomper goes with Madame Web and Aranya, so you put them all in a deck together and you say, let's freaking go. Cool. Then we have Dum Dum Dugan, who is ongoing. Your cards in the front row here have +1 power. Just an extra bonus power that you want to put on Captain Carter. That's pretty good, right? This obviously goes in Captain Carter decks. They're both ongoings. You get Duggan in the back, Carter in the front, you're happy. And oh my gosh, look, with Goliath and Captain Carter, we just cut Iron Lad from it. And now we have this cheap deck that has all this ongoing power that all synergize with each other. Yeah, this is where I'm going to town. This list seems absolutely incredible to me. This is probably the most meta ongoing list. Dum Dum Dugan seems like the card we're going to get for free this month. We get that plus you get Captain Carter Goliath, you get Dum Dum Dugan, you have these other cards, and all of a sudden you just have this incredibly, incredibly powerful deck. If you can get Captain Carter in the front, Duggan and Moonstone in the back, you're just singing, you're swimming in power. That lane is like unbeatable. You can spectrum it up, you can win another lane with an Iron Man. Like, just go to town. There's so much here. Our last card, I hope they don't release. This is Topaz. After you play a card here, move it to the middle location. That's broken. Move is too good. Play Human Torch there, immediately move it to Madam Web. Play Vulture there, immediately move it to Madam Web. Dagger, etc., etc. You move it to the middle, and then like you protect the middle lane with Cosmo, and then they can only they can only Red Guardian Madam Web or that card, and you just win. This feels utterly insane. I don't know what else to say. Topaz is probably going to be the best card of the 2 months, but I don't believe it's going to release like this. I cannot believe it's going to release like this. We have our card backs for this season. We have Ultron and Infinite Ultron, and then the season pass variant, which seems to be this extra Uatu. I really like that Uatu. I think the Ultrons are okay. I don't know. I don't love them, but whatever. There's a season pass variants. And then my 3 favorite variants that have been data mined are this really cool Valentina. This is the first Valentina I'll be excited to run. I just love that style. It's almost hippish. This Sage feels very Sageous. I have a gold Sage background. I want the gold with the green stuff flying out of it. I'm all about that. And I think this Darkhawk, this is the first Darkhawk I can remember where the wings are out and he's using them as he flies. And I think that's a really cool look. Those are my 3 favorite variants. And that's the video. I'm going to thank a bunch of Patrons now. Check out our Patreon at patreon.com/snapjudgments and be back tomorrow for a million great decks. Thank you to Ocularis, our patron of the month, Abigail Gieson, Manager Burnout, It Regardless, LAB, Inc., I Am Frostman, Hota Navarrete, Thinking Poker, Primed Ryan, Ryan Burke, Ryan Wood, Kirtix Lee, Koirei, Kazuchi, Archangel 3K, Black Dahlia, Pyrofros, The Goat Seeker, Hollowed, Nightmare, Only Fox, Synth, Ratnick, Dirty Casual, Mr. Kerfuffle, Cables, Ginger Prime, Philip Brakovich, Haplo, Kenny Loggins of the Danger Zone, The Bizza, Black Jeebus 23, Exorcy and Skippy G, Jessica Gamble, Slush Death, The King of Bros, The Great Kazoo, Werewolf, Kevsi Huda, Lunarchris, Clam, Colonel Forbin, Yistout, not Yistout there anymore, Clam, Colonel Forbin, Rob Silverman, M. Holland, David G. Wingfield, Pixel only. Only pixels, right? Steven, Brian Kaufman, Tristan A. Martin, Jason B., Mr. Craig Sterry, Matt V., Ren Wrench, Corbin, John Q., Jim McHugh, Yistout, Ace Age, One Big Man, Milkman for Reals, Cactus Jack, BG, Quid Pro Joe, Snap Decisions Joe, Mod Supreme Models, Green Goblin, Unibot, Flan 56, The Fuzznaut, Spectrum X, Hoot, MBTB, Shannon, Matt H., DJ, Mike Yajix, No, Frickin' Flex, Nick, The Greek Geek, Zodrex, The King of Canada, Temnet Falcon, Jonesy, Fothor Newman, Two Ties, The Great Lord Evs, The Pirate Kentucky, of course, getting T, where the T stands for I'll see you tomorrow. Also, don't forget to check this morning's video. It's got the best version of Day 1. What's the name of this card? Thunderbolt Ross. That's the name of that card. Peace, y'all.